Hello, I'm Brandon Schwartz, and I will be helping you get a little bit familiar with Schoology and the ways you can log in and some of the features that are going to be accessible to you. So when you first go to Schoology.com, you're going to have this website appear. You will click on the login link up here, and it will open up a new tab. And this is where you're going to fill in your Office 365 credentials, which will be your email address and then your password. It's going to be the same password that you use to log into Office 365 because Office 365 and Schoology are linked up, which is one of the great ways that Schoology is going to be utilized by the CSUSA company. So once you click Login, mine comes up with this warning box here stating that I'm in South Carolina, so I have to go to another link. Yours probably won't happen, but if it does, just click the link and then it's going to log you into Schoology. Once you log into Schoology, you're going to have, you won't have the stuff that I see here because Meavers has used Schoology extensively to make sure that we have all of our information on the website, on Schoology, but yours will come up most likely blank. From there, you can either create a course, which is going to be your classes. These will be pre-generated once the students are enrolled in Schoology and everything transfers over from PowerSchool. So you won't have to create a class because it'll already be pre-generated for you with your students. Or you can create a group. Meavers uses this to make sure all the teachers and staff and everybody know what's going on in the school. So if I click on our Meavers group, this is where we have all the information pertaining to all the teachers, staff, trainings, whatever we have coming up. Once your principal or your blending learning liaison gets something set up, you can go down to groups, my groups, and then from here you can join a group. That's when you're going to get that access code. You can go ahead and enter in that access code here, and then that's how you're going to get your group created. If your school doesn't have a group that it's using school-wide and you still want to mess around with the system and you still want to play around, you can actually create a group and label it whatever it is that you like, and share that code with a couple teachers to perhaps get people on their LinkedIn and messing around with the program. For example, our third grade PLC, we created a group, and again, this is accessible to the third grade team of last year, myself, and a couple of the CRTs. So that way we could share information here and we could go through and just kind of get familiar with a lot of the features. The same goes with courses. If you click on My Courses, you can actually create a course and again get yourself familiar with a lot of the features that are associated with the course. So logging into a course, or rather clicking a course, I'm going to use our second and third grade Eagle Enrichment Academy course because I'm an administrator there, so it can show you some of the teacher features. So when you log into a course, you have on the left hand side here a lot of options. Don't let those options overwhelm you. There's really only 3 things that you need to know in order to be really handy with Schoology. When you have materials, if you click Add New Materials, you can create folders to help categorize and organize your things that you're uploading for your students. And really all you're going to use is add a file or a link, so that way you can upload files or upload external links like YouTube to your materials folders, so that way your students will be able to have easy access to this stuff. You can also create tests and discussion boards. But discussion boards and adding a file and assessments are really the only things that I would focus on at this point in time. Everything else you can just mess around with. These 3 are going to be your bread and butter. Just making sure that you create your files and upload your files, and discussion boards are very much college-based for that blended learning or full mobile learning that we're going to get into. With that, I don't think I have any students in this class quite yet. No, I haven't sent out the things for parents, but once you have students in here, you'll be able to click their attendance, and it's going to be very similar to PowerSchool that you've used in the past. And for my friends in Duval, focus for Duval County. You can also award badges. Again, this stuff that I'm showing you right now not needed to run your class, just kind of cool things to know. You can create badges, which are like virtual good jobs and thumbs ups and pats on the back and stuff like that for the way your students are acting and behaving. Your grade book will look very similar to PowerSchool. And again, this program, Schoology, is owned by PowerSchool. So the stuff that you enter into your grade book here is automatically going to transfer over to PowerSchool. So if you're comfortable with just letting it go and kind of entering your grades here and then them automatically transferring over to PowerSchool, that's awesome. If you want to go into PowerSchool and make sure your grades are transferring the way that you want them, that's also okay. It's totally up to you. Teams is integrated into the program, so that way if you set up appointments or meetings on Teams, it's already integrated here, so that way your students will have access to it and see it over here. Speaking of having access and seeing everything, when you first log into Schoology, and this will go for your students as well, up here or over here on the right hand side it'll say upcoming events. When you create an assignment or upload a document and make a note on it, over there is where all of your students will see what's coming up, and it'll give them the date and the time that assignments are due. So no longer can they go, oh, I didn't know about that, Mr. Schwartz. It's like, nah, man, you knew about that because every time you logged into Schoology, which you should be doing every day in order to see my notices and my updates, it says right on your screen that you have this due. So that is another fantastic feature. When you start getting messages from students, you'll get the little bell icon up here will display things. And if you need to direct message anybody, you'll use this right here. If parents direct message you, this will have an icon showing that you have one unread message. But it's very, very social media like. So don't get overwhelmed. Don't get stressed out. It's a very simplistic tool. Just honestly, I would say spend 20 minutes on it and just mess around, create a course, create a group, and just kind of figure out what you're going to need for you personally as a teacher. Again, my suggestions, discussion, external files, and then the assessments. Familiarize yourself with those three things right there, and the rest will come as needed. If you have any help, if you need any help, please feel free to reach out, and I'll do what I can to make sure that life is a bit easier for you guys. I want this transition to be as smooth as possible, so just let me know. Thanks.